Look at me, I've become a mega chungus.
CaseOh, a man built like a beanbag chair, stared mournfully at his reflection. His once chubby cheeks now threatened to consume his entire face. Gravity was doing unspeakable things to his chins. He'd become a mega chungus, a fate worse than death for a man whose career relied on fitting into camera frames. Meanwhile, Steve Terraberry was crafting his latest culinary abomination, a pickle sandwich. Not just any pickle sandwich. This one involved rye bread, cream cheese, and enough dill pickles to make a pregnant woman weep. The smell alone could curdle milk and summon demons. CaseOh knew he needed help. He'd tried everything. Yoga with hamsters, competitive thumb twiddling, even that weird thing where you wrap yourself in plastic wrap and pretend to be a burrito. Nothing worked. His flesh had declared independence and was staging a hostile takeover of his being.
This is gonna be a bad one. A real pants ruiner.
Steve, oblivious to CaseOh's plight, took a bite of his pickle sandwich. A look of pure, unholy joy spread across his face. His intestines, however, were less than thrilled. This was going to be a bad one. A real pants ruiner. A symphony of squirty noises conducted by the ghost of Jimi Hendrix on a toilet made of cheese. The bathroom door rattled violently. Steve emerged pale and sweating, clutching his stomach. He'd faced down mosh pits and spicy food challenges, but this was a new level of pain. He vowed to never touch a pickle again. A vow that would last, about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, CaseOh was desperately searching the internet for solutions. He stumbled upon a website called Dr. Quack's Emporium of Miracles and Moderately Priced Garden Gnomes. It seemed legit. He clicked on the banner that promised, "Lose weight instantly, guaranteed. Results may vary. Side effects may include spontaneous combustion, uncontrollable yodeling, and the sudden urge to speak fluent Klingon. Do not use if pregnant, nursing, or allergic to happiness." CaseOh, desperate times and all that, clicked add to cart. What could go wrong? Besides, spontaneous combustion and the yodeling. Back in the land of questionable sandwich choices, Steve's stomach gurgled ominously. He knew what he had to do. He grabbed his guitar, a bucket, just in case, and prepared to gent out the demons. Because when life gives you pickle-induced diarrhea, you make metal. The doorbell rang, snapping CaseOh out of his what have I done spiral. He cautiously opened the door to find a delivery guy who looked suspiciously like a badger wearing a FedEx uniform.
Sign here.
He grumbled, pointing to a line on the receipt. CaseOh signed, then watched in bewilderment as the badger man scurried off, muttering something about stupid human jobs and, "Where's my paycheck, Dave?" Inside the package was a bottle filled with a glowing green liquid. It smelled vaguely of gym socks and desperation. The instructions, scrawled on a napkin in what appeared to be crayon, read, "Drink 1 capful before bed. Do not operate heavy machinery for at least 6 hours. May cause drowsiness, hallucinations, and an insatiable craving for mayonnaise. Do not taunt Happy Fun Ball." CaseOh, feeling a mixture of trepidation and morbid curiosity, decided to risk it. He downed the capful of liquid. It tasted like a troll had gargled with pickle juice and then breathed fire on a pile of dirty socks. Meanwhile, Steve's musical exorcism of his bowels had attracted an unintended audience. His neighbors, a kindly old couple who collected porcelain kittens and enjoyed quiet evenings of bingo and prune juice, were not amused. They banged on his door, their faces contorted in a mixture of disgust and mild constipation. Steve, realizing he'd pushed his luck and his digestive system too far, decided to flee. He packed his guitar, a suitcase full of pickle jars, just in case, and enough toilet paper to rival the national reserves of a small country. He was going on a road trip. Destination anywhere his stomach wouldn't get him evicted. CaseOh, after a night of vivid dreams involving talking vegetables and a tap-dancing gnome who bore a striking resemblance to Danny DeVito, woke up feeling different, lighter somehow. He looked in the mirror. His reflection winked. He blinked. The reflection winked again.
This is fine,
he muttered to himself. He had a feeling his day was about to get very weird. Section 5, The Oracle of Awful.
Steve's stomach rumbled ominously. It was a symphony of gastric distress, a concerto in C minor for gurgling bowels and explosive flatulence.
He pulled over at a dilapidated gas station, the kind that smelled of despair and sold questionable beef jerky. Inside, a lone cashier sat hunched over a crossword puzzle, his face a mask of boredom and existential dread. Steve approached him cautiously.
"Excuse me, do you have a bathroom? It's kind of an emergency."
The cashier looked up slowly, his eyes like two dead fish swimming in a sea of mayonnaise.
Bathroom's out back, but be warned. Legend says it's haunted by the ghost of a man who died eating a gas station burrito. They say his spirit roams the earth, forever seeking the perfect antacid.
Steve, ignoring the ominous warning and the pungent aroma emanating from the general direction of the bathroom, decided to risk it. He had a feeling this was just another Tuesday in his life. Section 6. A revelation in relish. Back at CaseOh's apartment, things were equally strange. The reflection in his mirror had started making sassy comments about his fashion choices. CaseOh, never one to back down from a challenge, even one from his own reflection, decided to fight back. This led to a shouting match that would have been embarrassing for anyone within a 5-mile radius to witness.
Finally, exhausted and slightly hoarse, CaseOh decided to seek solace in the one thing that never judged him: his computer. He logged onto his favorite forum, a haven for internet weirdos and connoisseurs of the bizarre, known only as the Digital Toilet Bowl.
He typed out a frantic message.
Guys, I think I'm shrinking, and my reflection is talking to me, and it hates my pants. Help?
The replies came flooding in, a mixture of genuine concern, mocking laughter, and helpful suggestions like,
Have you tried turning it off and on again? Maybe you're just high.
One message, however, caught CaseOh's eye. It was from a user named Gentleman Jim, and it simply said,
Sounds like you need a pickle.
Section 7. The Gentle Cleanse. Steve stumbled out of the gas station bathroom, his face pale and drawn. He had faced his demons, and they had won. He felt weak, drained, and strangely enlightened. He had stared into the abyss of his own digestive tract, and the abyss had stared back and offered him a mint. He climbed back into his van, resolving to find a real bathroom and maybe lay off the pickles for a while. As he turned the key in the ignition, his phone buzzed. It was a notification from the Digital Toilet Bowl. Someone was asking about pickles. Intrigued, Steve clicked on the notification. He read CaseOh's plea for help, the desperation palpable even through the screen. A strange feeling washed over him. He, Steve Terraberry, the harbinger of gent diarrhea, the sultan of sonic mayhem, had stumbled upon his true calling pickle-based life coach.
Meet me at the crossroads of Route 66 and Highway to Hell. Bring snacks, and maybe some antacids.
Section 8. The Ballad of the Bloated Bard. CaseOh, armed with a bag of chips, a 6-pack of ginger ale, for the nausea, just in case, and a healthy dose of skepticism, set off to meet this mysterious Gentleman Jim. He had a feeling this was either the start of a beautiful friendship or the plot of a very strange horror movie.
He found Steve leaning against his van at the designated crossroads, looking like a heavy metal roadie who'd just discovered the meaning of life in a bag of salt and vinegar chips.
You CaseOh?
That's me.
You the guy who thinks pickles are the answer to my problems?
Maybe.
But first, you gotta tell me everything, every detail. Don't spare the cheese puffs.
And so, under the watchful gaze of 1,000 indifferent stars, CaseOh poured his heart out, the tale of his expanding waistline and sassy reflection punctuated by the occasional crunch of a potato chip. Steve listened patiently, nodding along and occasionally interjecting with a well-placed, "Dude, that's messed up," or "You ate what?" Section 9. A Triumph of Terroir and Toilet Paper. The solution, as it turned out, was surprisingly simple. No, it wasn't just eat more pickles, though Steve did insist on CaseOh trying one of his infamous creations.
It's all about the brine, man.
No, the answer, as CaseOh learned through a series of increasingly bizarre trials and tribulations, involving a haunted outhouse, a pack of feral chihuahuas with a taste for human flesh, and a very unfortunate incident with a vat of industrial-grade mayonnaise, was balance. CaseOh needed to find balance in his life, balance between his online persona and his real self, balance between his love of snack foods and his desire to not resemble a sentient marshmallow, balance between his sanity and the sheer absurdity of the universe. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, relapses, moments where CaseOh considered just embracing his inner chungus and becoming a competitive eater. But with Steve's unorthodox support and a steady supply of antacids, he persevered. Section 10. Epilogue. A new beginning, with slightly less gas. The transformation wasn't immediate or miraculous. CaseOh didn't magically shrink back to his former glory, but slowly, gradually, he began to find his equilibrium. He started making healthier choices most of the time, embraced his love of interpretive dance, don't ask, and even managed to make peace with his reflection. who, it turned out, was just insecure about his lack of a mustache. Steve, inspired by his unexpected foray into life coaching, decided to start a new YouTube series, Gentleman Jim's Guide to Life, the Universe, and Everything, but mostly pickles. It was surprisingly insightful, though he did occasionally have to pause filming to deal with a particularly aggressive bout of pickle-related indigestion. Hey, nobody's perfect. As for the pickle sandwich, let's just say some things are best left a mystery. Or, a cautionary tale whispered in hushed tones around campfires. Section 11, Postscript CaseOh's Guide to Responsible Snacking. It's one page and it just says don't. The end? Probably not knowing these two.